Hello, my name is James Payne and I'm the creator of Great Art Explained. This is actually my first time in China and I'm so excited to talk to a Chinese audience. My book is coming out in China at the end of August this year and I can't wait. I've met a lot of great people over here and I just love it. I'm very excited. And my book comes from my channel. So I have a YouTube channel, which I started 6 years ago. It now has 2 million subscribers and in total it's had 70 million views. So it surprises me to this day how popular it is. And it shows that in the world, like in China, like everywhere else, there's a desire to learn something. So there's desire to have an education, and online education would be a great tool as well. And so 4 years ago, I signed a contract to write a book, and the book was published in October in the United Kingdom and is now going to be published in 8 different languages, including Chinese. And the book has already been reprinted 6 times since October, so it's become a big bestseller. So I can't say how proud I am to write this book, which is a representation of my ideas and my channel. So I came here particularly to this museum to see the Bridgeman Artventure. And I think it's kind of a similar thing to what I'm doing, which is democratizing art, to make art more open. And I think the great thing about the exhibition is that there are little sections that you wouldn't think of. Like there's one painting in there, for example, The Gambler, where the answers are cut through with perspex. And it's just really clever how it's done. It just gives you another way in to art and gives you another entrance into art and opens it up for everybody. So we're standing here in front of the Mona Lisa, and the Mona Lisa is almost the cliche of art. And one of the criticisms about the Mona Lisa is people say it's only famous because it was stolen in 1911. And that is utter nonsense. It's famous because it's very good painting. So we don't know exactly who this is a painting of. Possibly Ghirlandaio. We don't really know for sure. Why did he paint it, and why did he not ever finish it? And why did he not give it to the person he painted it for and carried it with him for the rest of his life? Because he thought it was a very important painting. So this is a painting by Vincent van Gogh, and it's called The Starry Night. It was painted in 1889. But what's really the most interesting thing about this painting is that for the very first time in his life, he was using his imagination rather than just painting something that he saw. So this is an amalgamation of different views. This, for example, wasn't as close as that from his window of his cell in Saint-Remy. This town was not possible to be in that space. The town was behind the asylum, but he mixed it all together because he was making an image of something else. He was making an image of imagination and of feeling rather than fact. This is actually one of my favorite sections in the whole of the exhibition because it's comparing Western art with Eastern art. And this particular painting here by Fan Quan, it tackles landscape in a whole different way from Europeans. First of all, it's much more of an aerial view, and that always surprises me because it's like, they didn't have drone footage. So how did they do this? So it's all done from imagination as well. As you can see from the Chinese work, the work is much more integrated. The landscape is more integrated. And so it's a whole image. Whereas I think if you look at Cézanne, who is really my favorite painter of all time, and this is the Mont Saint-Victoire, and he painted the Mont Saint-Victoire more than any other thing he ever did. He kept painting it again and again, different times of the day. And really, it's a mountain. It's a landscape, but it's a mountain. And that's very different from the Chinese art, which is integrating everything, whereas the Europeans tended to focus on one part of the landscape. Not always. That's not exactly true, but a lot of the time as well. So here, you're not looking at it as a work of a landscape. You're really looking at it as a work about a mountain. So this is a painting by Georges Seurat. As you can see, it's called A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of La Grande Jatte. La Grande Jatte was a small island just in the suburbs of Paris, and that's where the middle classes used to go and have little rest time, really. So there's another painting by Seurat called The Bathers. If you go online and check that out, that is actually the same day on a different side of the island. This painting is really important because it's a style called Pointillism or Pointillisme in French, and that is tiny little dots of color. So Seurat was very, very much interested in color theory. So he understood that we could use opposite colors to make our eyes vibrate. So this painting really vibrates. And in fact, he was really, really, really important in the development of Van Gogh. So they were very good friends. So Van Gogh started looking at color theory after here. So this painting is by Caspar David Friedrich. And if you look at the dates here, it was made in 1818. And it's The Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog. This was a whole system of painting, actually, in German painting, of people having their back to you. Now, if you think about paintings in general, people don't have their back to you. So really, we're looking from his viewpoint. So that means we're involved in the whole view. And this painting is a very simple name for a very difficult concept, and the concept is called the sublime. And if you've ever studied art history, you'll know that's a word that comes up again and again and again. So what is the sublime? We can trace that back to Turner as well, and the sublime really is when you're so overwhelmed by nature that it's almost like you can't cope with it. You're just kind of left in the middle of the sea or the nature. And the sublime is that feeling where you can't really understand what's going on in your life. And this is the key painting for that whole concept of art history.